It's best to add the salt in 3 stages. A little bit now, a little bit when we put the spices, and then you do a little test at the end. Hi, I'm Radhika, Radhika Howarth, and welcome to the Ideal Home Show YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be sharing 2 of my all-time favorite comfort foods from home. One is Malabar Prawn Curry. This is from Kerala in India. These dishes are rich with flavor, very easy to make, and brings the taste of the Malabar South Indian region straight to your kitchen. I'll guide you step by step and share a few of my top tips of creating layers of flavors without fuss. Make sure you hit that button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out the delicious content from the Ideal Home Show. So I'm taking you today to India. I'm taking you to the Malabar region, which is the southwestern coast of India. You've heard of Kerala? So this dish is from Kerala. It's one of my favorites. It's from my cookbook, Flavours Without Borders. It's a Malabar prawn curry. I'm going to do the prep first. I've put the pan here. I'm heating some oil so that the oil is hot, and slice some onions. So this dish is for about 4 people. It's a main dish. So slice some onions. And just one tip, the way I'm forming the base of the gravy. So I'm going to check whether the oil is hot. I've used vegetable oil. Traditionally, we use coconut oil because in South India, you get a lot of coconut and it just enhances the flavor of the dish. But you can use any neutral oil for this. I'm doing a little test. I've got these mustard seeds and a little test to check if the oil is hot. I'm going to put a few seeds. And if they kind of sizzle and dance, that means we are ready to go. It's really important when you're cooking for Indian cooking to make sure that the oil is hot when you're using dry whole spices, because the hot oil helps extract the kind of the aroma, the flavorings, the essential oils which actually flavors the food. We are ready. The oil is hot. I'm adding some black mustard seeds. And these are dancing. And I'm now going to add some curry leaves. These are fresh curry leaves, which are a very look at the sizzle, zoo, love it. Curry leaves are a quintessential ingredient of South Indian cooking. I'm going to add the sliced onion. And that's why I just said, please keep the onions sliced, because if you don't, then the curry leaves and the mustard seeds will burn. I'm turning the heat down a bit because we want to caramelize the onions golden brown and not let it burn too quickly. Now, a little tip here. I'm often asked, what's a good time to add salt when you're making an Indian dish? Now, Mummy says it's good to add a little bit of salt when you're caramelizing the onions. Why? Because it helps to kind of release the moisture and it kind of speeds up the caramelization. It's best to add the salt in 3 stages. A little bit now, a little bit when we put the spices, and then you do a little test at the end. So I'm just going to put a pinch of salt here. And like I said, this will caramelize the onion to a nice golden brown. We don't want a deep brown because it's a fish dish. It's slowly changing color. We still have maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And then we are going to add some garlic. So you take about 5 to 6 garlic cloves. You peel them and you mash them. You can even do chopped or use a little, grater to make a garlic paste. So I've got some garlic paste here. It's best to use fresh garlic paste. I'm adding the garlic paste now. And give it a nice mix. So you mix it nicely. And you need to keep stirring for 2 reasons. To make sure all the elements and whatever we are adding blends, but also to prevent it from sticking to the base of the pan. The temperature now is medium hot. So when I started, it was high flame because I wanted to infuse the oil with the aromatics and the whole spices. Now we bring the temperature down to 6, 7 if you're using, or a medium heat, to cook it all. I'm going to add some tomatoes. So here's a can of tomatoes. I'm going to add a can of tomatoes. Look, traditionally, we only use fresh tomatoes. So if you're using fresh tomatoes, you blanch them or you just blend them and make a nice pulp. The gravy in this Malabar prawn curry is the texture is a bit chunky. It would be good to blend the tomatoes if you're using a can, but I've got sliced onions. So this is going to now simmer for a bit. And I just wanted to share one little tip when the gravy is simmering. Onions, garlic and ginger form the base of any Indian curry in general. The way you cut your onion depends on how you want the texture or consistency of the gravy. So, for example, if you want a very silky smooth gravy, like a makhni sauce, or then it'll be either grated onion or finely chopped. If you're doing like a paneer jhalfrezi or something which needs little chunky texture, then you will chop it coarsely. Or if you like for the Malabar prawn curry and for a lot of dishes where it's an in-between, where you don't want it very thick, but you don't want it smooth, then you slice the onion. So just remember that the cut of the onion depends on how you want the texture of the gravy. The heat is up a bit and we will cook the tomatoes for maybe 4 to 5 minutes, stirring them. So now if you look at the color here, you can see it's like a deep red. It'll change to a deep orange. So just to recap, we used some vegetable oil. We heated the oil. We added the mustard seeds. Then we added the fresh curry leaves. Then we added the sliced onions. We sauteed it and caramelized it till it was like golden brown. Then we added the garlic, fresh garlic chopped, or it like as a paste. And then we've added the tomato. So that's how far we've got. Oh, and we added the salt. Don't forget that salt tip a little bit when you're frying the onions. Next, we're going to add the spices. So this dish is very mildly flavored. It's not like deep, rich, like a Kashmiri Rogan Josh or a butter chicken. Because it's seafood, it's really gentle, subtle, beautiful. We are going to use some turmeric, which is kind of the mother of all spices, I call it. It holds all the flavors together. Did you know it's also got a lot of medicinal properties? So turmeric is also, now they've discovered, anti-Alzheimer's. It's got anti-inflammatory properties. And we are going to use some coriander powder. So I have made this from coriander seeds. If you haven't used coriander powder before, it's got, again, a very fresh, citrusy, lemony feeling. So those are the only two spices that we're going to use. So as you can see, it's not a complicated dish. It's pretty straightforward, simple, but I promise you it's packed with flavors. Look at this. The color is changing slightly. It's getting more intense. So I'm going to add the turmeric. So I've got here about a teaspoon of turmeric, but the recipe will have it all. Mix this. Make sure that it nicely mixes with the rest of the ingredients. You don't want lumps. And just another tip that I'd share, if you're not very confident using spices because they burn very quickly, you can actually take the spices, the powdered spices that you're using, dissolve them in a bowl of water to make a little paste and then add it. So that way it gets absorbed more uniformly. And now I'm going to add the coriander powder. And do you remember what I said? A little bit of salt now. So that's the second time. The salt balances the kind of acidity now of the tomatoes and the spices. I'm just going to put a little bit, not a lot, because I'll do a final test later and just mix it well. And I get my prawns. So I've used here nice jumbo prawns. You want large prawns, you want the shell off, you want them to be deveined so they're ready to use straight away. One of the things about Indian cooking is that we use ingredients to balance the flavors. So if there is something sweet, we will add something salty. I'm going to be using some coconut milk for this dish. Coconut milk gives a creamy texture, but it also adds a bit of sweetness. So then what do? I'll use a souring agent to balance it. So you can either use tamarind juice or you can use malt vinegar. I'm giving you an easy alternative which you can buy, but we'll put this in the end. Okay, now I want you to have a look at the masala or the base. It's all nice and mixed. The color has changed. And here goes the coconut milk. That's 1 can of coconut milk. Mix it nicely. So now we will let it simmer for maybe 2 to 3 minutes for everything to kind of come together. As you can see, I haven't added any water. This is because it's got a thickish consistency. The liquid comes from the coconut milk. We enjoy it with rice. So you need not too liquidy, but a thickish gravy. And this combination of tin tomatoes and a can of creamy coconut milk gives you the right consistency. Another tip, and this is what my grandmother, who was from Mangalore, which is in South India, she said that when you're using curry leaves, it's best to keep some and add it to the end, just as we would use basil. So I've used some at the start to infuse the oil, and then I'm just going to add some now, just to give it a little top up of flair. As you can see, this dish, like other Indian dishes, we're adding a layer of flavor every time. And now we will add the prawns. So the prawns go in. They're all are saying hello to each other. The prawns come in. They want to absorb all the flavors from the gravy. So we will let it just leave there and let it soak. The prawns will take about 5 to 6 minutes to cook. So, they become nice and orange. So we are just going to leave that. And whilst that's being done, I still have to add my vinegar. And then I'm just going to use some fresh coriander to garnish it. I also use the stem. So if you're using coriander leaves, please also use the stem, because the stem has so much flavor. So here, chopped coriander, nice and fine. This is a dish that you can enjoy as a main. You can have it with rice. You can even try it with noodles. In South India, we have them with like white pancakes called appams. Look at this delicious Malabar prawn curry. You can make this dish with fish as well. So if you want to make it with fish, then white fish would be the best. You could pan fry the fish and then add it once the gravy is ready, so that it doesn't kind of disintegrate. I am now going to add the malt vinegar. Like I said, the vinegar is going in to balance the sweetness of the coconut. If you're using any souring agents in Indian cooking, you tend to add it towards the end of the cooking process, because if you add it earlier on, then it kind of stops or delays the cooking of some ingredients. It's bubbling. It's beautiful. I need to just taste this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Delicious. I wish you could try it, but you can if you make this at home. And I hope you do try it. It's a really easy recipe. I'm just now going to finish it off with a little bit of coriander leaves. It not only just lifts the dish up, with the contrast with the orange, but it just adds that lovely flavor, aroma, and your dish is ready. Here we have, from my book Flavours Without Borders, a Malabar prawn curry for you to enjoy. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through Flavours Without Borders. If you'd like to keep cooking with me, please follow me on Instagram at Radical Kitchen. It's RADIKAL Kitchen. Or you can visit my website at radicalkitchen.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around the Ideal Home Show for more amazing recipes and global food inspiration. And of course, buy my book, Flavours Without Borders. Thank you so much.